welcome back into Studio 10. March is Women's History Month, and an issue that affects women all across the world, no matter where you live, your race, your background, is infertility loss. So today's guest is Jessica Walter, who's dedicated her life to raising awareness in this issue. So thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It means a great deal. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and you do so much, and you founded the One Wish Foundation. Tell me a little bit about what made you want to launch this foundation.
Yeah, so several years ago, my husband and I got married, and of course we're thinking, okay, we want to have kids, let's get the show on the road. And soon we quickly found out that I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that typically lends itself to infertility. And then we also have male factor infertility as well. So together we are not a fertile couple. That's not in the cards for us. So we knew it was going to be a long road, and it ended up being a very long road and felt very isolating and very expensive. So we ended up fortunately getting to become parents after several losses via adoption and then via IVF with donated embryos. So I mean, honestly, like our children cost us like $30,000, almost $40,000 to have kids. Yeah, just to have kids.
Yeah.
And so I knew how isolating it was. I knew how hard it was. I knew how every loss takes a piece of you don't get back. And I knew how expensive it was. And I just thought, if I get to the other side, and I hope to do someday, I want to help those who are experiencing what I'm experiencing not feel alone and kind of work their way and navigate their way through it, but also help mitigate the cost.
Yeah,
so that was kind of the goal behind it.
Yeah, and thank you so much just for sharing that with us. So what does the One Wish Foundation offer to other couples who are in the same shoes as you?
Yeah, so it can be anyone. I mean, you can be a couple, you can be a single person. It's anyone who's trying to grow their family. We don't discriminate against anyone. But basically we offer, there's two parts to it. So there's a financial aspect of it. So 2 cycles a year, so 2 times a year, one in July, one in December, we offer a grant. So we raise funds throughout the year, and then we select at least 1 or more people that we guarantee a minimum of a $500 grant. But this past time we were able to offer more than that. It just depends on how much we can fundraise. But the grant will go toward either fertility treatment or adoption.
Wow.
And we make it right to the, the agency or the fertility clinic that you're choosing. So that's the main part of it is that. And the other part of it is the emotional aspect, right? So we have support groups every single month, virtual and in person. And then we have on Facebook, we have a private community group. So if you're in the middle of this and you're just like, this sucks, I hate going through this, and you want a place to vent, or if you have questions about IVF or infertility or adoption or anything, it's anything. Or if you want to celebrate, I'm finally pregnant after so long. It's kind of just a private space for people to kind of hold that space.
Yeah.
And then we offer just kind of awareness. I think a lot of people who haven't experienced it, they don't know what to say, and they unintentionally say a lot of really harsh, hurtful things unintentionally.
Right, exactly.
So we try to educate people who haven't been impacted by it as well, just to kind of help, again, those people that are in this realm.
Yeah, and you brought with us Waiting for You, which is a book that you wrote.
Yes.
So briefly just tell us a little bit about this book, the message you hope, and of course, where people can get it, because I know the proceeds, of course, go back to the foundation.
Yes, they do. Yes, it's all about the foundation.
Yes.
Yeah, so like I said, I experienced infertility and loss, and it changed me. And I felt like I didn't have an outlet or a place or people to really talk to about it. They really got it. And I guess my whole point in writing this was, I'm writing this to myself back at that time. Someone else who's me going through all this, who just wants to read from somebody who totally gets it and knows how hard it is, but to also kind of give hope that you can make it through it. You're going to be okay. You can make it through it. I give kind of tips at the end and that kind of thing. So let's just let them know you're not alone. I get it.
Yeah.
It sucks, but we're in this.
That's wonderful. And thank you so much for just sharing your story with us here on Studio 10. There's so many people who, like you said, who are looking for that community. One last thing I just want to ask you, because, I saw on your Instagram that you always post these affirmations for people who are going through that. Can you just leave us with one for our audience before we go?
Yes, you will hold your baby. That's the biggest one. You will hold your baby.
You will hold your baby. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Jessica, and thank you for joining us.